Hello my darlings, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Miranda and I am the Enchantress of Avalon. And for this final video of 2025, I just wanted to do a kind of chatty life update, gratitude filled video. Grateful for everything that happened good in 2025 and even the negative stuff, because we learned from the negative, and looking to what hope-filled future 2026 will be. So yeah, very informal, very fun, and yeah, let's just get right on into it. So firstly, I think I just want to share some gratitude for some of the gifts I have received this Yuletide season from my loved ones. And I do hope everyone has had a very blessed Yuletide season so far. Obviously, it's still in full swing because Yule is truly a season. So I do want to say, blessed Yule, Merry Christmas, and I hope you had a bright solstice, and let's get into it. So firstly, I want to share some of the stuff that my best friend got for me. So she got me a bunch of little things. I don't have all of them with me, but I did want to share some of my favorites. One of them is she got me this really pretty bracelet, which has all of these different gemstones. Very cool, very pretty, and very energetically potent. She also got me these really amazing pens. Now, pens seems like something that I'm excited over pens. I know it seems strange, but I am a writer and I journal every morning, and she knows this, so she got me these. And what they actually are is really cool. They are by this brand Lifelines, and they are lava pens. First of all, they are like lava lamp, which just the nostalgic in me growing, I was a teenager in the 2000s and all the 70s stuff was really big, so I had lava lamps and glitter lamps and stuff, so that's entertaining. But the other really amazing thing about these is they are essential oil pens. The pink one is freesia and jasmine, and the purple one is lavender and rose. So they're super calming when I'm doing my morning journaling, and I have been using them since she gave them to me on the solstice. And yeah, they're so amazing. They're gel pens, so they write really, really smoothly. And the other thing I have to say is, unlike the early 2000s gel pens that I was so accustomed to, they don't take forever to dry and then you're smudging them. It drove me nuts back in the 2000s because I would be, doodling or writing and then end up smudging stuff because the gel pen wasn't dry. And I just kept this for the information and yeah, to know the brand and what have you. But they are great. I have used both of them. They smell amazing, and the page also smells really beautiful when you get done writing. And then probably my favorite thing that she gave me was she actually made me a little bee. These little bee plush, and I love bees. They're sacred to the goddess. They're very divine feminine symbols, and they're important to the earth. I mean, we need our pollinators, and bees get a bad rap. So I love bees, especially honeybees. So I love that she made this for me. I'm so grateful. So thank you, Daisy, so much for these and all the other things. She got me a really beautiful candle and some bath bombs and all that other stuff. And then I have a couple of things that my husband gave me. I don't have the Blu-ray. I forgot to grab it, but he did get me The Northman on Blu-ray. Amazing film. Everything by Robert Eggers is amazing. But I actually hadn't seen it. It was the only Robert Eggers film I had yet to see, and it's how did I miss this? It is essentially an adaptation of Hamlet set in the era of the Norse gods and Vikings with tons of Norse myth references, so much. Between the Hamlet stuff and the Norse mythology, it was just amazing, incredible. And but he got me a new tarot deck, which is a very beloved tarot deck. I've heard a lot of people talk about how amazing this is, and it's been on my radar since it originally released back in, I think 2018 was the first printing of this deck. And it's everything I would love. It's an illuminated deck, not gold leaf edge. It's literally all the cards are gold leaf illuminated, and which is a very medieval thing. Illuminated manuscripts are big in the medieval period, and the style is obviously, as you can see, a very much so Art Nouveau style to the cards. And he's also inspired by the Pre-Raphaelites, and the Pre-Raphaelites and Art Nouveau are my two favorite artistic movements of all time. And the colors on this deck is absolutely beautiful. They're very pastel and muted tones that give this almost watery and aquatic feel. So why didn't I get this deck sooner, other than putting it on a list of things I would possibly like for my husband? And he picks from a list. I give him a longer list and he picks some stuff, so I still get surprised. The reason is I loved this deck's concept, but there are 2 extra major arcana cards in here. And I didn't know how I'd felt about that, but turns out I love it. I love that it's an 80 card deck. It's gorgeous. I've been working with it every day since I got it. It's amazing. That being said, I will have an entire review coming out about this after the new year. It's going to be the first Tarot Tuesday post of the new year. I've already written it and it is going to go live in 2026. So if you want my in-depth thoughts on the deck, I have that coming for you. And finally, the last thing that my husband got me is, which I've already started reading, as you can see, is the Divine Forces of the Lunar Nakshatras as portrayed in the Vedas, Mystical Forms, Ancient Epithets, and Sacred Mythology by Radhi. I'm saying that right? I do not know if I am. So this is my first full-length book on Vedic astrology. Super excited. And it's going deeper. I've been studying Vedic astrology and sidereal astrology extensively for the last year, but I've been doing that research online. I've been reading tons of articles on different websites and watching a lot of videos on Vedic astrology and sidereal astrology, but I hadn't gotten a book on it yet. And this is more in depth, going into the actual Vedas and pulling all of that divine knowledge and using it to really dig into the archetypes and energies within the nakshatras and how they would apply to a person born under those nakshatras, which are the lunar mansions of Vedic astrology. Super excited. So far, it's really good, but I'm only in the introduction. So when I finish it, of course, I will review that on my website as well, because I do review books like that, especially books like that. So yes, super grateful. Thank you so much to both my best friend Daisy and my amazing husband Andrew for those things. And yeah, I love obviously receiving gifts. Most people do, but I also love giving gifts, and I'm so glad that everyone I gave gifts to really seemed to like what they got. And it's been a pretty great Yuletide season for me so far. You know, some ups and downs, because it gets tense sometimes seeing family, but ultimately been really good. And yes, 2025 though, getting into the reflection part for this, is 2025 has been a really important year, a really transformational year, but also a hard year in many ways. I think a lot of people have had a very hard time. There's been a lot of stress, strain, destruction this year, but there's also been good things. And in my case, one of the best things in 2025 was the first round of the Melusine Mysteries, my 7-month-long online class. And for those of you who might not know, because I actually didn't do a normal introduction, I normally talk about my business at the beginning just to say, hey, reminder, I don't only make YouTube videos, but I have a business. It's an online priestess business, White Rose of Avalon, housed on my website, whiteroseofavalon.life. All of those links are always in the description box. And in 2025, I launched my first ever online class, which was a class devoted to Melusine, who is an Avalonian fairy queen and mermaid goddess. And it was such an amazing experience. I had an amazing first cohort of students. I loved teaching the class. I loved writing the class, and I can't wait to welcome in the next cohort of students. The registration will reopen on March 13th of 2026, which is a Friday the 13th. So yes, I'm launching enrollment on a very sacred divine feminine day, appropriately so. Especially, it's also a day associated with all types of Venusian goddesses, and Melusine is a Celtic Venus, among many other Celtic Venuses. There's a lot of them that would fit the energy of being Celtic Venusian. And the Celtic Venus is a very important energy I work with. In fact, I even have Celtic Venusian journal prompts for sale on my Patreon. My Patreon's Avalonian Rose Fairy Mysteries. And again, that's all linked down below in the description box, and also just directly on my YouTube page, my channel page. All of the links to my website and Patreon and everything are in there. But the journal prompts, you don't actually even have to become a member to purchase those. You could just purchase them individually because they are on the shop. They aren't included directly within the Patreon. They are an individual item. And I have journal prompts for maidenhood and journal prompts for the creatrix energy, which are two facets of Celtic Venusian energy. So yeah, if you're looking to do some journaling, I suggest checking it out. Yeah, but the Melusine Mysteries is something I'm so grateful for. I'm grateful for being tapped by Melusine to create a class in her name. I'm grateful to be a voice for Melusine in the world. So often she's looked at as just a figure to study, as a piece of literature and folklore and legend, and not as a genuine fairy queen whose energy you can feel, a goddess who you can revere. And while some write about her, like When Avalon has an excellent chapter devoted to her in her Celtic Goddess Grimoire, and Gareth Knight's writings on her are amazing and great sources, as he does a lot of translation as well. But no one else was doing a full class devoted to her. And a lot of my relationship with Melusine and developing this ability to work with her on a very deep and profound level was stuff that I worked on myself. I worked with her, I meditated with her, I did ritual, and over time it grew into this beautiful, beautiful relationship. And that's what I share with the Melusine Mysteries. And we go through the 7 aspects of Melusine, one each month that we are in the class. And again, it was such a lovely experience. I got so much amazing feedback from my students, and I could not be more grateful for the success of the Melusine Mysteries. And I can't be more excited for welcoming a new class in March. So that's a big thing I'm grateful for. One of the things I'm most grateful for, as well as the people in my life. I'm incredibly grateful for my husband, my best friends, my parents. I'm glad to have these amazing people in my life, and of course my students in conjunction with that. But yeah, there's also been rough times. Personally, in 2025, I had to make some changes with my business, because when I originally launched my business, which opened as an online shop in September of 2024, I had both the metaphysical services. I do tarot readings and mentoring sessions, channel readings. I had those. Well, the mentoring sessions I added this year, but I had my readings and my herbal teas, because I am an herbalist and I had a line of herbal teas. The teas did not do well. They weren't selling, and I think mostly it was just that shipping was too expensive. As an incredibly tiny, tiny business, I couldn't afford free shipping for people, so I think that's probably what ended up making that a failure in that way. So I pivoted away. I discontinued my line of teas and decided to focus in on my Patreon, my services, and my class. And that was incredibly the right decision. And it feels so much more aligned for me to be focusing on teaching and doing readings and doing the priestess work as opposed to doing the more herbal side of things. Herbalism is a sacred priestess skill, and I'm so glad to be an herbalist, but it's not my calling professionally, I've realized, and my calling, though, is there. I'm meant to be teaching and meant to be writing. And so I've focused on, continuing to write my blog, which the White Rose of Avalon blog is absolutely free. You can read it every day. I still post daily. If you wanted exclusive content, that's over on Patreon. And yeah, so I've been focusing on that, and it has been beautiful, and especially, of course, my class. And that's why going into 2026, I'm going to be doing the Melusine Mysteries again. I have another class, which I have an entire blog post again, beginning of January. It's going to be coming out, giving some more insight, and I've already announced it on Patreon, but it is a mermaid-based class, and it's 7 weeks long, so that'll be in the summer. If you can't commit to 7 months, maybe 7 weeks. So more information about that class, which I'm currently writing right now, I've been working on it over the winter, will be forthcoming as it gets closer to the date. And besides the Melusine Mysteries opening in March, I also have a Patreon book club coming up. My first Patreon book club. I've never done one before, even though I'm a huge reader, so it's exciting. And we are going to be doing a practical magic book club. So in March, April, May, and June of 2026, we are going to read through the entirety of the practical magic series. And I'll have a group chat for the book club. And obviously there will be either a live stream or a video call. I'm going to see what my Patreon members would prefer at the end of each month, where we will go over the plot of the book and really dig into our thoughts on each of the books, and also what we think might be pulled to be put into the sequel film that is releasing in September. And actually the idea for the book club came about because of the sequel film coming out in September of 2026, because Practical Magic has long been my favorite film of all time. I have a lot of favorite films, but Practical Magic is the one that I've always said is my most rewatched film and my ultimate comfort film. So, of course, I've read all the books, and I was like thinking, okay, I want to obviously reread the books before the film comes out. And then I thought to myself, why don't I do it as a Patreon book club to get a community talking about the books instead of just reading them by myself? And my Patreon members were really excited, so I am thrilled to go ahead and do that, and also hopefully welcome in some new Patreon members who are joining because they want to also do the book club. But all of my regular Patreon perks will still be there. There will still be blog posts, there'll still be meditations, and there will still be the monthly full moon tarot readings, which I do every single month on Patreon for my top 2 tiers. The book club will be available to all 3 tiers though. And speaking of, this coming weekend is the full moon. So if you're looking to get in on this month's full moon tarot readings, the first tarot readings of 2026 on Patreon, you can go ahead and check out the link to my Patreon down below. Oh, but I do want to note that if you join Patreon or purchase something on a Patreon shop directly on the iOS app, you're gonna be likely charged more. It's true of my Patreon. It's discretion of the creator, but Apple takes out fees. So Patreon will automatically raise the price if you're purchasing through the app to combat those fees that they're going to have to pay out to Apple. So you're gonna pay a little more on my Patreon if you're purchasing through the iOS app. If you just go on any browser, a regular web browser, even on your iPhone, you can go on a web browser and just, join there or purchase the, journal prompts there, you're going to pay the fee that I set for them. So my Starling tier is $3, my Owl tier is $9, and my Raven tier is $13 a month. And my journal prompts are $7 for the Maidenhood prompts, which is a 5-day set of journal prompts, and $13 for the Creatrix journal prompts. They're a 13-day set of prompts. I just wanted to note that because I think there's a lot of confusion for people, and I don't want to see people getting charged more because I can't afford to, just eat the cost of the fees to Apple, because the fees to Apple are a bit much, honestly. And again, I'm a small creator, so I just want to be fair to my, members of Patreon. So I wanted to mention that. But ultimately, your choice. And yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed this chatty life update, a discussion of all of the things I'm so grateful for in 2025. A little bit about some of the challenges, but challenges are there to teach us lessons, and I've definitely learned. And I feel more grounded on my path than ever before, and more excited than ever before for 2026, and so excited for the next round of Melusine Mysteries, for my Patreon book club, to just do tarot readings for my Patreon members and build that community there, and for launching my mermaid class in the summer of 2026. And again, if you're interested in any of that, all the links are down below in my description box. They're also available on my channel page. And yes, I hope you have a very, very happy new year, and I will see you in 2026. Bye now.